Y'all better listen to this. Check it out. Folks get caught in the system. Talk too much and you find yourself missing. Get caught up in the trenches. Damn, they're worse than the lynching. A black man running for president. I don't think the world's really ready yet. Let's just face it. Times are changing. I ought to write a letter to the government. Tell them they ought to stop all the stuff. Gas prices rising to the rooftop. Lower all the prices, then the crime stops. It's hard to keep me from crying. Every night somebody's always dying. Let's just face it. Times are changing. All that we've been through. What should we do now? All that we've been through, what should we do now? What should we do now?
I've learned that one of the easiest ways to appreciate what you have in your life is to put yourself in a position where you can see people who don't have what you have. Today was a very interesting day for me. I initially wanted to shoot a video to let the people see what it was like to have nothing. So I spent my entire day today living as if I was a homeless person. And what started out as just a video project ended up being a very humbling and enlightening experience for me. I was standing in between the median on a very busy street in Wilmington, holding a sign. And I thought about how many times I've actually driven past someone holding that type of sign. You know, sometimes I stop and give money, sometimes I don't. But when I was standing there, it really hit me like I could only imagine what it would be like to physically have to do this every day just in order to eat. The good thing that came out of it was I noticed that a lot of people were looking at me. And it's funny that, you know, I had a sign and the sign had a particular message on it that I wanted to get across. And I would see people riding past, and they would ride past and say, you know, kind of nod their heads at me. You know, I got a couple thumbs up from some people, man. You know, one lady in particular rode by, and she was trying to get my attention as she was riding by. And she rolled by and she caught my eye for a second and she just looked at me and said, "Thank you." And to me, that was what this is for. This is for people to have a higher sense of awareness of what it is you really have. Because the reality is, right, most of us go to a job that we don't like, we can't stand our job, and we're making just enough money in that job so that we don't quit. But reality shows us that when I came out here and I started to interact with people who actually have lost it all, reality says that most of us are only 1 or 2 paychecks away from Skid Row. 1 or 2 paychecks away from losing it all. I expected to come out here and see guys that were, you know, strung out on drugs, you know, guys that were, you know, really struggling with, you know, mental issues and things of that nature, man. But, you know, I sat and talked to some guys that really, if you were to bump into them in a restaurant, you would have no idea that this man was going to sleep under a tree at the end of the day. So my question to you is, what do you value? What are you working for? You know, the only difference, the only thing that separates the man that's sleeping under a bridge from the man that gets up every day and goes to work in a penthouse office is the decisions that that person makes every single day of their life. You make a decision every single moment that you're awake. You're making decisions that are going to take you from your present into your future. And the key to life is, how do we make present moment decisions that will resonate into the future that we want it to become? Most of us are drifting through life. But I want you to take a second and think about the experiment that I did today. And think about what your life would be if you didn't have all the things that you're holding so dearly onto. I was watching a video that my brother had put up. He was interviewing a guy who was homeless. And one of the questions my brother asked the gentleman, he said, you know, you got these bags, you know, what do you carry in these bags? And when you walk around, you see like these guys, they have bags, man, like they sleep on these bags, you know? They got, you know, change of clothes in these bags, you know? You know, if they got a work card, a union card, these, you know, a lot of these guys are skilled union workers, they carry this stuff in these bags. In essence, you're carrying your life in a bag, or two. And I asked myself, you know, what would I want to carry in a bag? If I was really out here and I didn't have anything and I could only take the bare essentials, man, what would I carry with me? So what I put in my bag, you know, I figured, you know, the kind of person I am, the things that I value, you know. I figured mental, physical, spiritual. You know, so from the physical side, you know, I got some resistance bands, you know, a jump rope. I figure, you know, if I'm out here in this situation, the stronger my body is, the stronger my mind can be, you know. And I would want to keep myself in shape if I was out here. And this is something I really value in my everyday life. I value, you know, health and exercise. So I definitely would have something like this with me. I value these things. From the mental side of it, I figured I'd bring a book. And I think this book here is a very, very powerful book that not only changed my life, but changed the lives of almost everybody that I know that's read this book. So I would want to have something that would keep me positive and make me realize that even though I'm here, I can go up from here. I can change the situation if I do the right things. From a spiritual perspective, I actually brought a few things, man. I brought another book, A Course in Miracles. It's a book that really helps me to understand that you can work miracles in your life if you only keep the right perspective. And I brought these, and a lot of you guys may not be familiar with these, man. These are I Ching coins. And what the Chinese or the Taoists used to do with these coins is they would throw these coins, and these coins would kind of cast lots in a sense that they would understand, they could figure out which way life was changing. You know, and I would want to kind of know from my own spiritual perspective, how were things going? I would probably throw I Ching coins a lot every day to see which energies were moving which ways and kind of give me an idea where to go. I also brought, if you can see, I brought my Buddhist malas, and these are prayer beads. And I think that in a situation like this, it is very, very important that you keep your mind as focused and clear as possible. If I were in a position where I was homeless, I would want to really, you know, I would really want to be focused on getting out of the situation. I wouldn't want to be complacent. And I found that too. It's easy for a person to really look at their situation and say, you know what, this is where I am, this is where I'm going to end up, and this is where I'm going to stay. And people can die out here. But the same way people die out here in these streets, being homeless or what have you, people are dying internally every day, doing things that they hate, miserable. So my message to you is this. I don't want to take up too much of your time. My message is this. If you're watching this right now, 9 times out of 10, you're not in this position here. You're not at rock bottom. So you still have a lot to be thankful for. But more importantly, you have the resources to change your situation and make your life whatever it is you want it to be. Now, to that 1 out of 10, 1 out of 100 person that's watching this that may be in my situation for real, this was not done as a show, as an entertainment thing. We did this for a specific reason. I want you to understand that regardless of what situation you're in, you always have the ability to turn that situation around. My father once said to me, he said, son, we grew up, what did you have? I said, Pop, we didn't have nothing. He said, so if you make $1 million and you lose $1 million, what did you end up losing? The answer really is nothing, because you're right back where you started. To the person that's at ground zero of their life, you have nothing but the ability to build up. And you have something else. You have the courage to make your life whatever it is. See, because this ground zero situation right here, this is what we're all fearing. This is why we hate a job and we keep going. This is why we stay in a marriage, because, you know, we're afraid to go out on our own and have to struggle to live. But this is ground zero. The result is this. We all fear being out on the street. But I want you to know that regardless of what situation you're in, you always have the ability to make your life better. you always have the ability to bounce back. In fact, the less you have, the more opportunity you have, because the less you're holding on to. If life is a hill and we're all trying to get up that hill, the person that has the less baggage to go up the hill probably will make it up the hill faster. So think about that. Look at your life, figure out what it is that you want to do, and don't let anything stop you from doing it. So I'm going to continue on into my journey, and I hope that I will see you guys soon at my next destination. Until then, peace and love.
Y'all better listen to this one.